Welcome back to the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy Green, your host from The Wellness Strategy, and we're here to talk about all things personal and professional wellbeing. This podcast is designed to help you become curious and consider your everyday wellbeing strategies, what you do for your own wellness, and how you can start to transform your life both in and out of the workplace. Sit back, grab a cup of tea, maybe grab a notepad, a journal, and get ready to feel really enlightened about what wellbeing used to be, what it is now, and where you can take your own wellness strategy. Hi, I'm Amy, host of the Work of Wellbeing podcast and founder of the Wellness Strategy. Another podcast. This is nice. I love recording my podcast for you, and I love hearing that you're enjoying them or that you've listened to them or that they've changed your life, which sounds a little bit like one of those throwaway things people say, but people have said it, so I love it. If that's you and you are really enjoying these conversations, then please share them with people who need to hear them and who need to have them. I'm not sure how often I say this, but you're more than welcome to use them with your teams, with your staff, as conversation starters. You know, that's what it's here for, right? So please share away. I want to talk about my new book a little bit today. My new book, Wellbeing Leadership, a New Approach for School Leaders. It, if I'm really honest, was a challenge to write. There was so much I wanted to put in this for you, and I really wanted to ensure that as you were reading it, knowing that it's written for leaders, that you felt seen and heard. Leadership's really challenging because you sit in that space of, I think, in education, still wanting to connect with students and being in that space and loving that work, but then also having to connect with adults and leading with adults and educators and colleagues. And it's a great role, but it requires so much self-awareness and self-compassion and self-kindness. And I unpack this in the book, but throughout the process of writing a book like this, I really had to reflect on leadership, not just leadership in terms of its jargony word, but my own leadership experience, my own leadership journey. And, like my first book, it really made me pull out things that perhaps I wasn't necessarily that proud of, or that I may have wanted everyone to know, but now the whole world knows. And that's okay. That's part of doing this work. But I reflected a lot on leadership, the weight of the responsibility that we have, and then also how do we prioritize staff wellbeing in a school when there are 1,000 other strategic agendas and areas that we need to focus on as well. And in the book, I take you through two parts. So the first part's around you, yourself, what you need to know and learn and understand, and then some characteristics that you can start to connect with and build upon as you lead staff wellbeing. And when I wrote this book, what became really apparent is we really, as leaders, forget to acknowledge the impact we make. We're so focused on others, staff and students. We need to take a step back and appreciate and acknowledge the work we do as leaders and thank ourselves, because we don't hear that enough. As leaders, you often don't hear how much of a great job you're doing. If you're a leader or if you're not, just find a leader today and tell them they're doing a great job, because it's not something they hear a lot. And so because of that, we can really underestimate the significance of our role and the daily choices that we make, the directions that we provide, and the space that we hold for other people. It's a beautiful, beautiful job to have. But you no longer find yourself in a classroom with students where you can have incredible amounts of autonomy to design your day. You're often pulling from one thing to another. And I think right now, in the midst of this post-pandemic recovery that we're going through, with teacher shortages, staff wellbeing is critical more than ever. And so it's got this added layer of pressure for leaders to drive without training, without any proper development or strategic guidance. and in some ways leaders being left to their own devices to kind of figure out what staff wellbeing is. Hopefully, I've been able to demystify some of the things or provide some guidance in that space. But like what often happens in education, it's a new initiative, but without the adequate training or support to do it well. And I really feel for this. And so I know as you're listening to this, it's towards the end of the year somewhere. And because of that, you might be feeling like you haven't done enough, or, you're just making it through and managing day to day in a way, because it's busy, right? And it can be overwhelming. And so I want you to take a step back and reflect. I want you to take a step back and reflect on the amazing things you've done and celebrate that, because you have. You've helped so many people. You've made so many great changes. You've held space for people. You've connected. You've made people smile. Gosh, that is worth celebrating. And as we enter the end of the year and you're thinking about, gosh, I've got, summer break and I've got some time for myself, what should I do? I want to encourage you to read my book, not because this is not a promo in terms of like, go and buy the book, although it is. I want you to read it because I want you to know that when we're talking about wellbeing leadership, it's possible to hold space and the polarity of doing what we need to do for our students and for our staff without sacrificing one or the other. And I want you to read the book because it's a tool that's going to help you rethink how you lead. It will allow you to reflect on where you've been and encourage you to redesign your approach to wellbeing leadership, seeing it as the foundation. It's crucial. It's crucial to us moving forward now in education. And so I believe right now we're standing right on the edge of a major shift that's going to happen, like right on the edge of it, which is super exciting. And this is a chance not only to make things better for our students, but to make things better for our people, for ourselves and our staff and our educators as well. And so the question is, how do we move forward in a way that's meaningful and sustainable? That's what we have to start to focus on. Wellbeing leadership is about sustainability. And so inside the book, I provide you with some answers. I mean, there's definitely not a one size fits all or all of the answers, but it's a place to start, right? And so as you enter this summer break, give yourself permission to just take a look at it, and hopefully pieces of it will resonate with you and allow you to explore how to lead with wellbeing at the center so that you become more aware of who you are as a person and a leader, which is going to help your well-being, but also the well-being of those you lead. And that's what wellbeing leadership is all about. And yes, of course, over the break, rest, recharge, reflect, do those wonderful things, spend time with family, sleep in, don't have an alarm, all of it. But when you're ready to start planning for a wellbeing focused year, when you're ready to dive back into thinking about, gosh, what does this 2025 look like for me? When you're ready to go down that important route of planning for yourself and then also others, just take a look inside and let me know what you think. Don't rush though. Have some space, have some space, have some time. Or you might be someone who wants to just dive into it straight away because you've been yearning to read not just my book, but many others. And the end of term hasn't allowed it. And so now that's an opportunity to do that, which we love to, right? So I'm going to leave it there. This was just a little piece to get you curious about the book and to invite you to make some space to consider what wellbeing leadership looks like, not just for those you lead, but for you too. Have a wonderful break. And as always, if you need anything, I'm sure you know how to find me. And if you're thinking, you know what, this is useful not just for me, but for others, please share, do whatever it is we do with podcasts and the book. And if you have more questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great break, but also have a great day, week, night, evening, month, whatever time of day it is for you. And I'll see you somewhere soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. The information discussed today was just that, information only. It's not specific advice. If you take action following something you heard today, it's important to make sure that you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that advice be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or otherwise. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or if there's anything else I can do to support your own wellbeing and wellness journey, whether it's another topic you'd like me to discuss or whether it's support in your school, workplace, or individually. And if you do know someone who might benefit from listening to this, please remember to tell them about it, share the episode with them, or suggest my Instagram, my website, or LinkedIn where they can find out more about me and what I do. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.